Hey guys, thanks for joining me in this demo. Um, this one is quite a long video. I haven't really planned it out. I started with a charcoal, little, very light sketch, as you can see, and it's painted over another painting that I sandpapered down a little bit, and I've got some nice little bits of texture showing through. I just did some sort of burnt umber, raw umber undercoat there to give it that old style warmth. Um, But other than that, I don't really have a plan other than it's kind of a deconstructed figure. So I want to abstract the figure. I kind of, like the idea of this sort of cyborgy type of human that's kind of trying to uh, get into reality, sort of thing. And he's just made up of a bunch of broken parts. Um, I think it's kind of interesting. But anyway, I love painting figures in all their different styles and moving and standing. I kind of just like standing mostly. Just I think it gives more of an implied feel. Anything could happen. Maybe something has happened, rather than them doing something. But having said that, I also like just I love painting figures walking, because that sort of shows that talks to sort of migration and just human restlessness and things like that. And so there's just so much you can sort of say with 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 the figure, I think. Anyway, we'll enjoy. I'm probably not going to talk all the way through, because otherwise it would be a bit boring. But so just using some nice. I'm using Amsterdam old amps. What's it? Yeah, Amsterdam paints, acrylics, reasonably priced here in Portugal where I'm staying. I've been here for a few months. These are good paints. I haven't found the ones I really like, Liquitex and Golden, but I think these are really nice. They're good quality, rich paints, and actually quite affordable, more affordable than the American ones. But yeah, it's just a matter of using all the things you can and trying out different materials all the time, constantly seeing which colors work best. I found that cadmium red light is a beautiful bright red that's kind of difficult to get unless you can get it in golden paints or Liquitex. I haven't seen one in this Amsterdam brand. So yeah, I'm just sort of trying different things. I think this figure is going to change a lot, and I just enjoy doing this. So I'm not really trying to come out of it with anything in mind other than just enjoy the process. It's kind of like finding, I think I never know whether to put that guy's genitals in, because you kind of feel like it's a nude figure, but once I put it in, it just feels a bit silly and pointless. I'll take it out. But yeah, sort of, I like sort of building up this figure. Almost, you feel like you're building something from the ground up. Getting into the sort of essence of the thing, and then whatever I do on top of that is kind of just sort of secondary, almost. Yeah. So here I'm just going in with palette knife and just exaggerating the sort of form of the figure. Just enjoying this a lot. doing a lot of sprays and kind of, I want to get that sort of degraded feeling, like a worn wall, an old wall kind of thing. And then you sort of paint over bits of it and make that come out brighter, leaving some of the other stuff behind. And that's just, I guess that's part of, that comes from, traveling and seeing old walls in old cities and things like that. And also, I used to help my dad as a kid painting the walls of our home a lot, and sanding down, and, just that transformation, even just painting, one color over, and say a white paint over a slightly older white paint, and just seeing the difference that a bit of freshness can give. But then also sometimes you see the old paint underneath in areas, and it's just got that kind of history to it, which I love. Yeah, I mean, sometimes I don't really want to paint over the drips and those things. I just feel, I kind of feel that when I come back to it in the morning, whatever, I'm going to want to do that anyway. So I just sort of start cleaning it up. But I've definitely done a lot of them where I leave it very loose and washy. I think with this one, I just really wanted to put line work in afterwards, and this is where I start going into it with some line. And then, the old cartoonist in me comes out, and I'll put a big eye in, and but then I sort of take it out, and it's just a process like this where sometimes I want that cartoony feel to some parts of it, and some parts of it have it, some parts of it don't. So it just changes a lot, and there's no. It's just how I feel, and there's no rhyme or reason. But you've got to be very careful with putting a cartoon line in. I don't want it to look too illustration-y or too Basquiat. Everyone's always saying, "Oh, it looks you're so influenced by Basquiat." Well, it's if you use a lot, if you love painting with black line, and you were a cartoonist, it's hard to sort of get away from that comparison. And definitely not as anywhere near his level. He's just amazing, because he really put the fine art into his into that sort of cartoon line work. I only discovered him, when I was in my travels as an adult. Having grown up in South Africa, I didn't really know much about a lot of artists. I saw de Kooning's exhibition when I travelled to London in like 1993, 94, something, maybe 96. I think I saw it at the Tate, and it just blew my mind, that de Kooning exhibition. Those paintings are huge, and there's just so much life and movement, and there's layers of he would take newsprint and sort of put terp thinners on, and get the newsprint sort of push itself into the paint, and then paint over it. It really affected me quite a lot and made me want to get into abstract painting. And same thing with Picasso, yeah, and definitely with Basquiat. I saw an exhibition of his also in London, and definitely was just mind-blowing. The scale of those paintings that I saw was incredible. And then there's some shitty critic. I think Richard Sewerish name should be said they just meaningless, but it's just absolute nonsense. I think Basquiat just really put his whole experience onto canvas in a very shorthand way, and just um, integrating pop art and influenced by Warhol and his experience, the sort of black experience. I think he just did it so beautifully, and it's pretty raw. It has got a lot of meaning. Once I read that review, I thought this guy is the shittest critic, and art critics, who needs him? If they should. But yeah, I mean, traveling, going to galleries around the world is vital for any artist. You don't get it, and from just seeing prints and things. I grew up with prints of Picasso and some Rembrandts in my house, and I was influenced by them a lot. But until I saw the originals in museums around the world, when I saw Picasso's originals, I thought this guy is a shaman. He was just a magician. There was just a magic that came out of his work. And I don't think, especially now, I think his power has kind of been dissipated a lot by everything that's come after him. And then I sort of feel like I want to put some grey areas, some muted areas in. It's getting very bright. But, as I said earlier, I think the covering layers are sort of just an exercise. This is like a golem. Coming to the end of this video, here in Portugal it's raining. I'm in near the city of Coimbra, about 20 minutes out of there, and it's just coming down pretty heavy now. Yeah, just on the subject of moving to Portugal, I think sometimes when things happen in your life that you are finding difficult to deal with, for instance, my divorce, I was doing a lot of inner work, and you look back at things and you regret things, you get angry and all these things, and you beat yourself up. Sometimes the answer is not always to go there too much. Sometimes the answer is to just, go somewhere else and just change, see where a different environment can also have a positive effect on you, especially somewhere that's, more relaxing and beautiful surroundings, not expensive. I think I think it was the right decision to come here. I've been here for a few months. I don't know if it's going to be a permanent thing, but I needed it at the time, and that would be my message, is to sometimes just don't beat yourself up too much if you're dealing with things that are very difficult. Sometimes just, get the fuck out of there. And if you can, if you're able to, just physically move. So just, as you can see, just merging the background with the figure. The idea is, anywhere you're standing, you're going to get some bounced light, refracted light onto the subject. And this is sort of just an exaggeration of that idea. And it's just, I think it's just kind of fun to do this. Put some orange light background into the foreground. I don't know, it's untitled at the moment. If anyone wants to suggest any titles, that would be most welcome. I guess what I'm thinking, default factory settings, maybe. Is that a bit too robotic? I don't know. Let me know what you think. If you have something better. Well, thanks for hanging in with me for this painting. I really enjoyed it, and I've got a little abstract one coming up next. I'm just running out of storage, out of space on my iPad where I edit these things, and it takes ages to sort of delete old files and edit this thing, and so that Apple doesn't keep saying to me you've run out of storage and you have to buy new storage. So those are the finishing touches. I'm just going to sign it, and then I'll varnish it in a few days when it's totally dry. A guy, Jeff Revel, at a gallery in Nashville, is showing some of my recent stuff. If you want to look at the website, Revelry Fine Art, revelryfineart.com. Great guy, and he's got stuff that he can ship to you. And this might go onto his list.